Hello Taurus, my name is Paul and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And beautiful chariot energy. Beautiful chariot energy. You're going places. You are on the road somewhere. There is a path before you, and I think that it's a path you have been, you've been on for a while. I think you've been very committed to it. I think you've been steadfast in your efforts. Let's put this into some context. Oh, wow, Cancer and Leo energy with the Lust or Strength card. But it hasn't always been that way. Interesting. It could be right now we're back here in this 5 and 5 of Swords and 8 of Cups. It could be that we're back here right now. What we really need to do is get here. We need to get this creative passion going again. This is we need a renewal of our path, right? Let's finish up our cards here and we can talk about these energies. Well, these are nice energies here. I like that we have all of our major arcana, these two, centered, right? This is what the reading is all about. This is what is coming into our life, right? And this is going to be the result of it. Beautiful energy. Really, really nice. Let's select one mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're using the Smith-Waite Tarot for this. And this is one random card. We'll put Alien Simon Mork Ripley. Yes, that is their full name. Right there on that mystery card now. We're not going to look at that until the very end, so don't even ask, okay? But we are doing something a little different here. We're trying to make the channel more interactive. So, if at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to type your answer into the comment section, right? I want to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, if we can tap into our intuition and start discerning that mystery card together, okay? But first, let's take a look around the room. 2 major arcana. We've got quite a bit of fire. We've got, oh, a little bit of water. Not a lot of water, but some. We've got some air. And now this air is very interesting. Right? Very, very interesting air because it goes from this kind of pessimistic, defeatist, I can't do it, something's wrong here, this frustration, this mental stress and tension, I feel like we're just being kind of squeezed, to this clarity, this gracefulness, right? And this is, I mean, a big improvement, right, from here. And then we've got our earth energy, which is very, very nice earth energy. Okay, I think it's an abundant path that you're on. I think that it's going to be, I think it is already very intense for you. I think it's going to be lust or strength covering your path. I think this is going to be it's going to be very intense, but it's going to be kind of a surprise path to abundance, right? There's going to be something that comes into your energy that it doesn't change course. It doesn't make you kind of switch directions, but it brings this new kind of zest, this new robustness, this new vibrance into your life. This feels very powerful, very intense. But what we have going on first, now we've got to get to that energy, right? What we have first is the 8 of Cups and the 5 of Swords. First, the 5 of Swords, we talked about, it's kind of this idea of being defeated. Maybe we suffered a loss. Maybe there was a letdown. Maybe we had a little bit of a setback, right? Maybe there was just something that we didn't win, something we couldn't do. It feels like just a little failure, but it's enough to just frustrate you, you know. It's enough, I think, to send us into a little bit of Eight of Cups. We feel like all of our hope is kind of draining. It's almost like we're just getting pale, you know. The blood is kind of rushing out of our face. It's a bit of pallor. Because we had some kind of setback. Now, with the Five of Swords, we're missing the point. Because look, the point, if this is a pentagram, the point is down here. The spirit is at the bottom. Where the real meaning of this, the real spiritual energy, the origin, the purpose of it all, is concealed, right? Because all we're experiencing are the four elements up top swirling around, mixing and doing all their stuff, and we can't see the spirit of the thing, right? So we feel like this is just not working. It's just a mess. So what we need to do, some positive affirmations. Yep, that simple. In fact, we have positive affirmation cards here that we're going to do, because the point of this needs to be at the very top. We need to keep our purpose, our goal in mind. All of the turmoil, all of the tumult, the elements swirling around, successes, failures, speeding up, slowing down, right? All this kind of mess is not the point of it all. This is just the circumstance, right? The point is at the top, and if we keep that point in mind, right, with the Swords card, if we keep it in mind, then we can withstand these little setbacks. Things are going to go in cycles, right? Things are going to be really heavy in the water or the fire or the air or the earth element, but everything ultimately resolves into a unity. As long as everything is done for your goals to further your path, these elements are not going to affect you as they have been. So let's do a positive affirmation. Sometimes that's all it really takes, is just a mantra, something that we can repeat to ourselves when times get tough, just to remind you of where to keep your focus. And I'm not saying that, you know, mantras and positive affirmations alone will bring you to your goal. The positive affirmations are just to keep us from getting deeper into this air and water, it's kind of a swamp that we feel here, right? So it's just a mental exercise, the wisteria, longevity. Plan for and take the dedicated path. Yes, stay dedicated. You're in this for the long haul, the longevity here. This isn't the temporary wins and losses. It's kind of like the stock market, right? If you're in this kind of energy, you're not ready for the stock market. I'm not ready for the stock market. I don't even know what I'm doing. This isn't a financial reading. I'm not qualified to give any financial advice, right? But from what I understand, it fluctuates up and down every day. For maybe years on end, it'll just be a loss, right? You've got to plan for and take the dedicated path, the longevity. We're in it for the long haul. We know that even though there are obstacles today was a loss, tomorrow was a loss maybe, doesn't mean the war is over, right? We still know what we're doing, and as long as we have Spirit right on top, let Spirit take the wheel here, right? Spirit will pull you forward through all the good days and the bad days, but we have to keep a positive attitude, okay? So we need the wisteria. Beautiful, beautiful flower. And that will help us to get a little bit something back here in the Eight of Cups. This is kind of like because of the swords energy that we just talked about, we're starting to feel like our glass is half empty. Not only is it half empty, but every day it gets a little bit more of a crack in it. right? Or that crack just kind of gets bigger and bigger every day. So our hopes and dreams are just draining away faster and faster. I think the wisteria is a good way to glue this vessel back together, right? Let's prevent any more of this loss of this water energy. Now, it is the only water and the only cups on the table, but the Cancer energy, the Chariot, this is a water sign, right? Cancer's a water sign. This is some good water energy. And this is showing a vessel that is very well put together. Not just dressed smartly, but with integrity, has structural integrity, right? Has the armor on, can withstand the ups and downs of the path, right? You've got good shocks on this thing, right? The potholes and the pitfalls, you can avoid them, right? Probably has a good steering in it. You can turn really sharply. And this is kind of what we need. We need to stay dedicated to the path. This is, again, part of that wisteria. Plan for and take the dedicated path. Be the chariot and the charioteer. I kind of feel like this is the chariot, right? I kind of feel like this lust or strength is the charioteer. This is what's driving us, right? This is the vessel, and the vessel needs to be sound, right? Seaworthy. No cracks, no holes, no leakages. It needs to be ready for the journey, right? We got to make sure you kick the tires and put the oil in there and stuff. Gas, I guess. Unless it's electric. One day I'd love to have an electric car. They seem so neat. But this is the driver. This who is sitting behind the wheel, just mashing on the gas and having fun and whipping it around and really enjoying the ride, right? And we kind of need both. We need a vessel that can handle the passion, but then we need the passion to really drive the car the way it's supposed to be driven, right? You don't get a sports car and then drive really slow and carefully. I mean, I would. But sometimes it's fun to open her up. Now, I'm not advocating any kind of reckless driving, okay? That's not, these are metaphors. Come on. The lust or strength. This is what this is the surprise energy that I think is coming into your life. I think you're going to have this renewal of passion, a renewal of this kind of robustness and strength and zest and power. It's going to be fun for you to drive. Right? This path is going to become fun again. Yeah. And let's see, should we go to the fire? Should we go to the air energy? We've got the Nine of Wands underneath everything here. And this is kind of, maybe we should have talked about this first before we got into the major arcana, because this is rather simple and straightforward. It's a 9. It's sun and moon conjoined. This is the promise that you made, the commitment that you made. And this is how you know that you can endure the ups and downs, the twists and turns, because you committed to it. And when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And it may just completely suck right now. Pardon my language. But with that 8 and that 5, it's almost like, why did I commit to this? It's miserable. Well, it's not going to be miserable much longer. Okay. We've got this major arcana energy coming in, and this is fantastic. This is going to be a really intense, a really kind of nice surprise, right? But not only is it going to be fun again, but we've got the Queen of Swords, right? It's water and air. This is now, this is a couple of things. This is, first of all, a different perspective, a higher sight, a higher vision. It's like you're standing up and you're looking further down the road, right? You see those people on motorcycles that kind of stand up while they're riding. I used to think that was so they could see further down the road, but I think they're just stretching because they've been sitting like that for so long. I don't know. Never ridden a motorcycle. my daughter, she's 3, she always says she wants to ride a motorcycle, and that scares me to death, honestly. Anyway, beside the point. This is you standing up to get that higher perspective. To see, oh wow, this traffic jam is only right here, but a little bit further down the road, it's smooth, clear highway. Yeah. So this is very positive. We need this kind of perspective. We need this clarity. It's a calm, it's a gracefulness. This is you handling the difficulties, not with anxiety and worry and frustration, or with this hopelessness, but with grace. Cool, calm, collected. Okay? Because we're having a release of this mental and emotional energy. See what's going on here? Air and water. Tumultuous, stressful, pessimistic, hopeless, water and air. But over here, we have water and air here too. But this is cool, calm, clear. This is the ocean on a very stormy day. This is a beautiful lake. The water is like glass. The air is clear. There's a light breeze. There's some sunshine. It's not too hot. It's just right. Okay? So this is our heart and our mind just out of whack. And this is our heart and our mind in unison, unified together, united. Right? There's no more doubt. There's no more uncertainty. There's no more frustration, turmoil, pessimism, hopelessness. All that's gone. Right? Now we're thinking and feeling in a, well, thinking of the dedicated path, thinking of the long term, focused on the long term, right? Dealing with today, dealing with the ups and downs, but really we have this kind of joy and this lust again because we're focused on what we're actually accomplishing, what we're doing. And that brings us to the path of the serpent, 9 of Pentacles. We immediately start seeing an improvement in our circumstances. Just the shift of attitude, just the influx of this spiritual zesty energy, I don't know what else to call it. I never really liked the word zest until I started doing tarot on YouTube. Now it's my favorite word. Immediately we start seeing progress. Maybe part of our pessimism, maybe it was a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe it was one of those vicious cycles where we would have a setback, we'd start getting pessimistic, and then we'd get another setback. And that setback would make us more pessimistic. And in our pessimism, we don't put forth the right kind of effort to make progress. So we just keep going back and back and back. But now we're doing things in such a strong, robust, and zesty way that immediately we see an improvement in things. Things start growing a little bit better, a little bit faster. We're succeeding in different areas. We're seeing visible signs of progress. Okay, we're making gains. All right? This is the first perception that's going to come to you when we get this influx of spiritual energy. When we feel this again, first thing you're going to notice is, wow, things are already looking better. And it might just be our perception has changed now. Because now we're up here looking at things and thinking, yeah, things are actually really good. And things are going to continue to get good, continue to get better. The next card is the 3. The 3 of Wands is very important energy. It's in the position of your environment, your relationships, how you conduct yourself in your world, right? And you are a person of integrity, of virtue. Some would say that virtue is when, it's kind of an authenticity kind of thing. When your actions, your decisions in private are the same that you would make in public, right? That who you are when you're alone is exactly who you are when people are watching, right? It's like in public, you very much are into recycling. Everyone needs to throw their put their trash away in the appropriate receptacles, right? You're very adamant about that. But when it's just you, you're just throwing your banana peels everywhere and like dumping your bubble gum under the desk, or throwing your plastic water bottles right in the lake or something, you know? And that's not very Three of Wands of you. Because the Three of Wands is the type of progress we can make when our thinking, our feeling, and our doing are all in unison. See, we had a pretty good deal when it was our thinking, feeling, right? The air and the water together. We felt good, we felt graceful, we felt like we can handle anything, we can see the future. It was nice, right? Now, we're adding in the earth energy. Now we're taking that thinking and feeling and we're doing, because our body, our heart, and our mind are in the same place, on the same page. And that is the key to success. That's the key to action. And that's the key to virtue. If your mind was somewhere else, your heart was somewhere else, or your body just wasn't following instructions, things would be off, right? Then we'd be throwing our water bottles in the lake, telling everybody else that they need to recycle. Okay. I was recycling before it was cool. Just saying. So I like this card, and this tells me that you're doing your very, very best, right? You're doing your very, very best, and it almost makes me a little emotional, you know. And this is the way that you're going to continue on this path of progress. See, when we had these here, remember we had the heart and the mind, the water and the air, and they were disjointed, they were out of whack, right? Well, then our success was out of whack. We felt like our physical environment, we weren't seeing the success, we were having setbacks. Remember, we talked about that being a kind of a vicious cycle. So we were getting the anti-Nine of Pentacles. But now that our heart and mind are together, now we're seeing that the physical environment is following suit, and everything's coming together this way, and that's exemplified by the Three of Wands. Very beautiful energy. Now, we've got next the Eight of Wands. And this is in the position of what we don't want. This is the position of perhaps our fears, worries, and concerns. And this might be, well, it might be a couple of things. It might be a little bit of a worry that this passionate, fiery energy with this Lust or Strength card is going to leave again. That what if this excitement that I feel is just a flash in the pan? What if I go back to that, you know, Eight of Cups or something? Okay. And yeah, that's a legitimate fear and worry. That's why this card is here in this position. This card is also the risk that we run of feeling all of this passion, feeling this just zest, you know. And thinking that now we can change course. And I don't want to go where I was going anymore. Now I'm driving the car, I'm having too much fun. I want to drive this way. I don't see what's down this dirt road. Right? I want to take these other freeway on-ramps and interchanges, and pretty soon we're lost. Pretty soon we've taken all of this excitement, all this fire energy, and then we're right back in a Five of Swords thinking, how do I get back to the freeway? Right? So there's this need for us to stick to the plan, to stay on course. Right? Not to try to kind of diversify our energy too much, not say, well, I'm not so much interested in that, or that's fine, but I want to start doing stuff over here. And then pretty soon our energy is spread way too thin. It's dissipating. Okay? The energy that might have really led you to tremendous abundance in one direction is now fizzling out with all of these other projects. So you may feel like you can conquer the world, but let's just conquer one little chunk at a time. Okay? Let's create the success here first, and then continue on. Right? Don't spread yourself too thin. You know, my wife tells me that. I try to read like 5 or 10 books at a time, and I don't end up getting anything done. You know, focus on 1 or 2 things. Don't spread your energy too thin. The Two of Pentacles at the end here, this is magnificent. Because this is not only our new understanding of this world of duality, of yin and yang, of up and down. As soon as there is beauty, ugliness shows up, right? The Tao Te Ching. This is the idea that the only reason we have music is due to the silence in between the notes. Right? It would be a cacophony, I think that's the word, if we didn't have any silences. If we didn't have any setbacks or fluctuations, if we didn't have up, we wouldn't have down. If we didn't have loss, we wouldn't have gain, pain, pleasure, sorrow, and joy. So we have this new perception, and, well, we have yin-yang duck. We know that things are going to fluctuate. We know that things can't be all good, all passion, all the time. Eventually, the car is going to slow down. We're going to have to do our maintenance, do a tune-up, give it more gas or oil or plug it in, whatever. And then we can go again, right? It's like my daughter on the carousel. You know, she wants it to just keep going and going and going. Well, if we just stay on the carousel and we just spin around for hours and hours and hours, she's going to get bored. I'm going to get bored, right? Pretty soon it's going to seem so normal that it's not exciting anymore. There's nothing to bring us kind of that out of that basic state of awareness, right? There's no novelty in it anymore. So that's why I tell her, let the machine slow down. We'll go have a snack. Right? We'll go use the restroom. We'll relax for a minute. I got more tokens. We'll go back on in a little while. And then it's fun again. Because then she misses it. And can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Let's wait a few more minutes. You know, I got to catch my breath and, you know. And it's kind of the same thing. We have to appreciate the moments of activity and the moments of rest. Because it's all part of the infinite cycle. And it's not a cycle as in a circle. It's a spiral. It's constantly moving forward or upward or whichever way. So I like this card very much too. I think that you really are on a path toward major abundance, tremendous abundance. And I think we're going to be very surprised by this incoming cycle of zest and robustness and vibrance and activity. Now let's look at the mystery card. Thank you, Alien, Simon Mork Ripley. This is the point of the reading where I'm going to ask you to connect with these images and energies. Okay? Let's try to raise our vibrations. Let's try to connect with our intuition and figure out this card. I'll leave the camera switched over here so you can, well, you can pause the video if you want. You don't have to play along if you don't wish. And I think this is a good exercise for us, you know, collectively. I keep looking at this the 8 of Cups here, and I start to think that this is going to have to be some water energy. Right? Because we see the 5 of Swords, and we kind of have the improvement of that, but I kind of want something a little bit more directly related to the Cups, right? To our experience of joy. So I'm thinking water energy. I would like to see an ace. 9 or a 10 would be cool, right? But I think a 9 would be nice because then we'd have a 9 of wands, a 9 of discs, and then we, get a 9 of cups. I think we'd be perfect. But then we've got an 8 of wands, we've got an 8 of cups, maybe, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think probably a 9 of cups here. No, it's a 5 of cups. But I was close, and we say as long as we kind of get in the general ballpark, I think we're doing pretty well. The 5 of cups is typically a disappointment. But I think this card is trying to show us that we can't have joy if we don't have disappointments. It's the same thing, we were just talking about this, right? Because this figure is looking at the abundance that is not there, the abundance that has been lost, right? The pleasure, the joy. It's the 3 of cups that are spilled. 3 of cups is abundance. And that's gone, it's spilled. That's terrible. But if we didn't have that experience, we wouldn't realize that there's more love right behind us. 2 of cups, love. Right? Disappointment is when we have an abundance of love. Because then as soon as a little bit fluctuates, we feel disappointed. The Greeks, I think, used to say that they were intense optimists. Because when things cannot possibly get any worse, there's nowhere to look but up. I think it was the Greeks. I don't know. I'm Greek, so I say everything is from the Greeks, kind of like that movie. I can't remember the movie. Yeah, so I feel like this is exactly what we were talking about with the 2 of Pentacles. The idea that we kind of have to appreciate the things that we lose. It helps us to appreciate the time we spent with them. But then it also helps us to recognize what we do have, or what we're gaining, or the progress we are making, or the joy that we do have. Yeah. So I think this is kind of like in the state of disappointment, when we feel that we've hit a loss, a speed bump, a setback, surprise, there's more love right behind you. I think that's very important for us to realize, not just intellectually, but spiritually, emotionally. And we are going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click either above or below in the description box. New readings for Taurus Monday and Friday at 6 a.m. Chicago time. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Okay. I appreciate you watching this video all the way through till the end. That really helps out the algorithm. That helps out the channel. So it's good for everybody. And remember, Taurus, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.